Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some extremely cool battles in the Open Great League featuring a triple Shadow, triple Brave Bird themed team. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now the team features a Shadow Skarmory on the lead with Shadow Staraptor and Shadow Honchkrow in the back. This is definitely not a team I'd recommend for climbing, but man, the damage it can output is amazing. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out the triple Shadow Brave Bird team in action in the Great League. Hopping into the first match, picking up a terrible lead, Shadow Skarmory into Shadow Alolan Sandslash. Alolan Sandslash being an Ice Steel type is just about one of the worst things you can see with a team of triple flying types. Skarmory is going to tank the Ice Punch, return fire with a Sky Attack. Opponent commits an early shield, recognizing that if the Skarmory is staying in, odds are that the Sandslash will have play in the back. Skarm is going to let that through, and now in comes Honchkrow. Honchkrow is going to be resisting the Shadow Claws from the Sandslash. Sandslash fires off the Ice Punch. We will see a shield from the Honchkrow. Honchkrow farming up to the back-to-back Sky Attacks. And now Honchkrow, if the opponent shields here, can go for another Sky Attack and win CMP. Honchkrow tries to click the Sky Attack, but the game freezes. Oh no, Honchkrow forced to give up a shield. Going to try and rally back. Doing the perfect overfarm, firing off the Sky Attack, and Shadow Honchkrow with an energy lead is so deadly. In comes a Shadow Swampert. Oh boy, this Swampert is not going to have a good day. Shadow Honchkrow, Brave Bird, one-shots the Shadow Swampert. In the back, it's Jellicent. Honchkrow, not yet done, makes another Brave Bird. Hello, Jellicent. Goodbye, Jellicent. Get absolutely one-shot, and that's game over. Picking up a decent lead in the next match, Shadow Skarmory into Whiscash. Whiscash, of course, does have access to Blizzard, but Shadow Skarmory should be able to tank a Blizzard from full HP. Skarmory is going to strike first, going for the Sky Attack right off the bat. We see a shield from the Whiscash. Hopefully that means the opponent does not have the greatest counters to flying in the back, because if that's the case, then the Shadow Staraptor and the Shadow Honchkrow should do quite well. Opponent baited with a Mud Bomb. It was no shielded. This time they full send the Blizzard. Shadow Skarmory making all the right calls, farming up to the Brave Bird and going for another Sky Attack here. Sky Attack is going to be getting that Whiscash quite low, and it does get the KO. In comes a Flygon, opponent running some very cool spice with the Flygon. Flygon will be hit with the Sky Attack. We see the final shield deployed by the Flygon. Flygon firing off a charge move here. Shadow Skarmory is going to no-shield. Flygon goes for the Dragon Claw. That will not KO. Flygon forced to fire off another charge move. So this will be getting rid of the Shadow Skarmory, but now in comes the Honchkrow. Honchkrow farming up on energy here. Opponent gives Honchkrow a Snarl for free, and as we've seen, Honchkrow with energy is just an absolute menace. Firing off the Sky Attack, just needing to get rid of the Flygon. What does the opponent have in the back? It's an Abomasnow. Shadow Honchkrow making it to the Brave Bird. We don't even need a third Pokemon with this team. Brave Bird KOs the Abomasnow. And that is a good game. We see a Nightmare lead in the next match, Shadow Skarmory into Galarian Stunfisk. Galarian Stunfisk is not only going to be resisting all of the flying moves, but it can hit for super effective damage against the back two Pokemon with Rock Slide. Shadow Skarmory is definitely the best matchup on the team, as Skarmory will be able to tank multiple Rock Slides and apply some heavy resisted damage with the Brave Bird. Shadow Skarmory firing off the Brave Bird here into the Galarian Stunfisk. Stunfisk is going to commit the shield. Shadow Skarmory continuing to farm up. Opponent firing off a Rock Slide. We will see a shield from the Skarmory. Skarmory trying to make it to another Brave Bird and gets there. This will be getting that Stunfisk low if they no shield. Stunfisk double shields. We now see a pivot into the Shadow Honchkrow. Opponent sends in a Gardevoir that charms, destroying the Shadow Honchkrow. Honchkrow makes the Sky Attack, KOs the Gardevoir, but Honchkrow paid a heavy price to do so. Opponent is now going to send in Azumarill. Azumarill looking for the farm down. Honchkrow makes the Brave Bird here. This is going to hurt. Brave Bird rocks the Azumarill. It is a slightly underpowered Azu, but still, my goodness, that damage. In comes the Gust Shadow Staraptor, making its first appearance. In comes the Stunfisk. Stunfisk will be firing off a Rock Slide. Rock Slide will be shielded by the Shadow Staraptor. Shadow Staraptor makes it to the close combat, and the triple Shadow Brave Bird team somehow survives the G-Fisk lead and secures the win. Hopping into the next match, leading Shadow Skarmory into a Bastiodon, and this game is over before it starts. Bastiodon can very safely shield once here and just 1v3 the entire team. One hope, going for the close combat with the Shadow Staraptor. Opponent doesn't respect it. Wait, is there a chance? But in comes a Swampert. Swampert is going to get the Mud Shot down due to the debuff defense. In comes Shadow Skarmory. Shadow Skarmory will be able to tank one Hydro Cannon, but the Swampert has a massive energy lead. And as you can see, they're already at another move. Shadow Skarmory is going to let this through. Hydro Cannon, KOs. In comes Shadow Honchkrow. Shadow Honchkrow making it to the Sky Attack, putting pressure on the Swampert. Swampert is going to no shield. They're putting it all on their final Pokemon, which is Cresselia. Cresselia, of course, can have access to Moonblast, and Moonblast would be rough here. And they are running Moonblast, not what you're hoping to see. Farming up, going for the Sky Attack here, hoping the opponent is going to commit the shield. Sky Attack will be no shielded, but wait. This may lead to a potential snarl down, farm down win con here. We'll have to see. Moonblast will be shielded. Honchkrow going for the snarl down and gets it. Opponent dying with 2 shields. Picking up a neutral lead in the next match, Shadow Skarmory into Obstagoon. Definitely nice to catch the Skarmory on the lead, so that way the Honchkrow will not have to face it later. Opponent throwing on alignment, giving Skarmory an Air Slash for free, and this is an Obstruct Obstagoon, so they have now lowered the Skarmory's defense while buffing their own. Skarmory fires off the Sky Attack. We see a shield from the Obstagoon. Obstagoon again giving a free Air Slash to the Shadow Skarmory and helping to tilt this matchup more in favor of the Skarmory. Skarmory is going to overfarm till just before they make the Night Slash and fire off the Sky Attack. With the defense boost from that Obstruct, unfortunately, Obstagoon will be able to hang on here and make it to the last second Night Slash. Night Slash will KO the Skarmory, but this sets up perfect farm for either of the back 2 Mons. It is Shadow Staraptor time. Staraptor gets the Gust farm down, but it's a Lantern in the back. Thankfully, it is a Water Gun Lantern. At least they don't have Spark. Going for the close combat here. This is going to hurt. Close combat. Rocks the Lantern. In comes the Honchkrow. In the back is Charizard. Charizard will be hit with the Sky Attack here. Sky Attack is going to smack the Charizard, so we will see the final shield used by the opponent. Honchkrow in a tough decision. Do you shield here? We do see the final shield used. Honchkrow winning CMP over the Charizard. Going for the undercharge on the Sky Attack. That is a very nice undercharge. The Charizard should kill the Shadow Honchkrow here, and then it's all up to Staraptor to farm down and try and leave with a move. Shadow Staraptor farms down in 1 gust, and unfortunately that's not going to be enough energy as Lantern has the Thunderbolt, and that's game over. Picking up a tough lead in the next match, Shadow Skarmory into Dewgong. Another Ice type, and this team is not a fan of Ice whatsoever. Skarmory farming up, going for the Sky Attack, and looking to get some damage before Dewgong has the ability to debuff with Icy Wind. Sky Attack is going to be no shielded by the opponent, and Shadow Skarmory will commit an early shield. Dewgong will be able to outpace and make a second Icy Wind before Skarm gets to the second charge move, but Shadow Skarm should be able to tank this and still make the Sky Attack. Opponent no shielded the first, which means they're probably just looking to play out the zeros here, as typically if you're shielding in this matchup, you want to shield the non-debuffed move. The opponent is just going to let that through and send in Medicham. We see a pivot into Shadow Staraptor, and the Gusts are doing a lot of damage, but so are the neutral counters. Ice Punch will be shielded. Shadow Staraptor looking for the Gust farm down. Medicham lives on 1 HP, so the Staraptor goes for the close combat to force the CMP tie. Medicham will commit the shield. This Ice Punch will be massive overkill now that Staraptor has debuffed its defense. And now the question is, do you just send in the Honchkrow and look to get ahead on energy here? In comes the Honchkrow in the back. It's a Cresselia. Honchkrow farming up and going for the Sky Attack. We know how much damage Sky Attack does here, but Moonblast will KO. Opponent must not have Moonblast, and they concede the match. Picking up a tough lead in the next match, Shadow Skarmory into Alolan Marowak. We see a save switch into the Staraptor. Opponent sends in Abomasnow, and look at the gust damage on the Abomasnow. Abomasnow may not have realized what it was getting itself into. Staraptor has to commit a shield, but it can get a shield right back with the close combat. Opponent actually choosing to let that go. Instead, they're going to go for farm on the Alolan Marowak. In comes the Shadow Honchkrow, and I don't think I've ever seen Snarl do that much damage before. Marowak fires off the Shadow Bone. Unfortunately, unfortunately, the Honchkrow is so glassy that Honchkrow probably did need to shield that Shadow Bone. Going to fire off the Sky Attack here. That will be shielded by the opponent, and it's a CMP tie. Let's see, how much does the Shadow Bone do? Opponent running Flame Wheel! You've got to be kidding me. These early season movesets out of nowhere. Swampert gonna fire off the Hydro Cannon here, and unfortunately Swampert can just very comfortably finish off this game. Skarmory firing off a Sky Attack just before they make the Hydro, but this is an incredibly safe shield for the Swampert. They go for the Hydro as soon as they get it. That will be taking out the Shadow Skarmory, and that's game over. Picking up a favorable lead in the next match, Shadow Skarmory into a shiny Golbat. This is a very nice lead for the Skarmory, as Skarmory will be resisting just about everything except the Shadow Ball. Skarmory is going to strike first, firing off the Sky Attack into the Golbat. Golbat is going to commit a shield. Golbat has enough for the Shadow Ball here. We see the no shield from the Skarmory, and that proves to be a good decision as it ends up being a Poison Fang bait. Shadow Skarmory continuing to farm up. This is enough for the Shadow Ball. Skarmory will commit the shield. Golbat baiting again. You hate to see it as the Skarmory. Skarmory gonna fire off another Sky Attack though. Opponent will need to shield if they want to preserve this energy, and they will. Skarmory will be hit with another charge move, saying, you know what, you can Shadow Ball me if you want to, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. In comes the Gus Shadow Staraptor, getting the farm down, and Shadow Staraptor with a shield advantage and an energy lead is just so deadly. In comes a Spark Lantern though, and that is not what you're hoping to see. Close combat will rock the Lantern. In comes Honchkrow. Honchkrow will be hit with a charge move from the Lantern here. This is enough for the Thunderbolt. Opponent is going to full send it. In the back, it's Galarian Stunfisk. Shadow Honchkrow going for the Brave Bird here, looking to get some damage. Brave Bird does a massive amount of resisted damage, but the opponent overfarms too much and plays to a CMP tie with the Honchkrow. Sky Attack is going to get them low. The question is, can the Shadow Staraptor gust down before Stunfisk makes the Rock Slide? I believe the answer will be yes. Back in comes the Lantern. Lantern gets gusted down by a Shadow Staraptor, and that is a good game. We see a familiar lead in the final match, Shadow Skarmory into Dugong. And as we saw last time, Dugong is a definite problem spot for this team, consisting of 3 flying types. Skarmory is going to strike first, going for the Sky Attack. Dugong is going to no shield. Icy Wind does not KO, but it will deal a solid amount of damage. We will see a shield from the Skarmory. Dugong will be able to outpace here and make it to the second Icy Wind, 1 Air Slash before Skarmory makes the Sky Attack. They fire off the Icy Wind, that is going to connect. Skarmory now 2 stages debuffed, going for the Sky Attack to get the KO here. Opponent didn't shield the first move, but they elect to shield the double debuffed move, and to add insult to injury, they get the full farm down. They now get to Icy Wind whatever gets brought in. And now we're going to see the Staraptor brought in. Opponent, unfortunately, they're going for the Icy Wind here. Oh, they actually Water Pulse. Opponent did not TM their Dugong in the new season. They're definitely going to need to do that. But more bad news as there's a Drifblim on the field. And if it's running Icy Wind, this is going to be game over. And it is no Mystical Fire to be seen. And Icy Wind Drifblim is just going to be way too much for this team to handle. As unfortunately, Honchkrow has the back-to-back Sky Attacks here. But that was a CMP tie, meaning Honchkrow will not get to use its second Sky Attack, as Icy Wind will KO. Back in comes the Staraptor. Staraptor looking for the farm down, and Drifblim with 1 HP, able to hang on, KO with the Icy Wind, and that's a good game. All in all, these were some very fun battles featuring triple Shadow Pokemon and a triple Brave Bird team. As I mentioned at the start, running unbalanced teams like these, definitely not something I'd recommend for climbing, but for pure entertainment value, it's hard to beat a team where every Pokemon has the ability to one-shot a Pokemon on the opponent's team. So all in all, some very, very fun battles. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.